All right, guys, let's have some fun. So, Ron DeSantis, as you all know, is now going gonzo. He has stepped out of the race. Now, I must say, man, as I said in the previous video on this, I got to own up to the fact I was wrong. I really thought after the midterms that Trump had peaked. He was gone. He was done. All of his candidates that were handpicked got obliterated in the midterms. Basically, every election since 2016, he did good in 2016. Every election since then has been a rebuke of Donald Trump. And Ron DeSantis was this one bright spot for Republicans in the midst of a massive underperformance for Republicans all across the country. And so I thought, yeah, why wouldn't Republicans go with Ron DeSantis? He's just like Trump, except updated, except version 2.0, except like less drama, less messiness, less mean tweets, less legal problems. And so why wouldn't they go with him? If they care about electability even a little bit, of course they'll pick him. I was wrong. They don't care about electability. And it turns out all that negative stuff about Trump is actually why they love him. They love the drama. They love the mean tweets. They love the showmanship. They love the legal woes because they get to feed into this narrative of he's a victim and there's a witch hunt against him, and it's all like a reality show to them. They're watching it, and they want to partake in it, and they're going to back their guy no matter what. And so I was dead wrong. But I wanted to take a minute to go back. We are going to go through the 5 worst things Trump said about Ron DeSantis before the governor just endorsed him, before DeSantis endorsed him. So he was hammering away on old pudding Ron for quite a while. Let's dive into it. So it all started here. This was the first time, after the midterms, this was the first time Trump attacked DeSantis. Now, why did he attack DeSantis? Because some polls had come out where DeSantis was actually ahead of Trump. There was one poll where he was leading Trump by 4 points nationally because he crushed in Florida, and Republicans elsewhere got destroyed, especially the Trump-picked candidates. And so Trump comes, elbow from the sky. He says, News Corp, which is Fox, the Wall Street Journal, and the no longer great New York Post, bring back coal, is all in for Governor Ron DeSanctimonious. This was the first time he used that. An average Republican governor with great public relations who didn't have to close up his state, but did, unlike other Republican governors whose overall numbers for Republican were just average, middle of the pack, including COVID, and who has the advantage of sunshine where people from badly run states up north would go no matter who the governor was, just like I did. Ron came to me in desperate shape in 2017. He was politically dead, losing in a landslide to a very good agricultural commissioner, Adam Putnam, who was loaded up with cash and great poll numbers. Ron had low approval, bad polls, and no money. But he said that if I would endorse him, he could win. I didn't know Adam, so I said, let's give it a shot, Ron. When I endorsed him, it was as though, to use a bad term, a nuclear weapon went off. Years later, they were the exact words that Putnam used in describing Ron's endorsement. He said, I went from having it made with no competition to immediately getting absolutely clobbered after your endorsement. I then got Ron by the star of the Democrat Party, Andrew Gillum, who was later revealed to be a crackhead by having 2 massive rallies with tens of thousands of people at each one. I also fixed his campaign, which had completely fallen apart. I was all in for Ron, and he beat Gillum. But after the race, when votes were being stolen by the corrupt election process in Broward County, and Ron was going down 10,000 votes a day, along with now Senator Rick Scott, I sent in the FBI and the U.S. attorneys, and the ballot theft immediately ended, just prior to them running out of the votes necessary to win. I stopped his election from being stolen. All right, well, let's pause here to point out. What he's admitting to there, assuming that story is true, is actually he's the one who stole the election for Ron DeSantis. Sent in some federal officials to intimidate people counting the votes. And then it's like, oh yeah, Gillum was picking up, he was picking up steam, but looks like Ron held on. Please don't hurt me, FBI. Like, what he's saying is he's doing election interference here. That's unbelievable. And now Ron DeSanctimonious is playing games. The fake news asks him if he's going to run, if President Trump runs, and he says, I'm only focused on the governor's race. I'm not looking into the future. Well, in terms of loyalty and class, that's really not the right answer. This is just like 2015 and 2016. A media assault collusion when Fox News fought me to the end until I won, and then they couldn't have been nicer or more supportive. The Wall Street Journal loved low-energy Jeb Bush and a succession of other people as they rapidly disappeared from sight, finally falling in line with me after I easily knocked them out, one by one. We're in exactly the same position now. They will keep coming after us, MAGA, but ultimately, we will win. Put America first and make America great again. So he started by doing this thing like, this guy's a disloyal loser. I made him, and now he stabs me in the back. And honestly, at the time, I thought that's kind of a weak argument, right? It's just sour grapes, it sounds like. Well, turns out Trump's people were like, right on. Every single little petty drama queen grievance he has, they're like, yes, we're with you on that drama queen grievance. Okay. So now, let's go through this article. This is the 5 worst pieces of humiliation that Ron DeSantis suffered at the hands of Trump. First, Trump suggested that DeSantis groomed children. So here's this picture. I remember when this was floating around. This was Ron when he was like a high school teacher and he was at some party with students. And Trump says, that's not Ron, is it? He would never do such a thing. And this is in the midst of the grooming panic, right? How the right was trying to gin up this grooming scandal about all the lefty teachers are making your kids gay or whatever. And this is Ron DeSantis with like what looks like a pedo moment. He also questioned DeSantis' manhood. The former president's campaign took a below-the-belt shot at DeSantis back in June when they questioned his manhood before Trump's rival was set to attend an event in Nevada known for cooking stewed and fried lamb testicles. Quote, not surprised Ron DeSantis is looking for a set of balls, says Chris LaCivita, a senior advisor to the Trump campaign to NBC News. All right, and then we have Meatball Ron. Through the campaign trail, Trump experimented with various nicknames for DeSantis, including his most famous Ron DeSanctimonious moniker. However, in February, Trump took to Truth Social and began floating the name Meatball Ron to his supporters. In one of his many late-night Truth Social posts written during the primary, Trump told his supporters, I will never call Ron DeSanctimonious Meatball Ron, as the fake news is insisting I will. He added, even though Fox News killing lightweight Paul Ryan is revered by him, low-energy Jeb Bush is his hero and always at his side. His beaches and state were closed for long periods of time. His testing for the China virus didn't work out too well, and his loyalty skills are really weak. It would be totally inappropriate to use the word meatball as a moniker for Ron. Oh, he's funny, man. He is funny. Apparently, he also attacked Casey DeSantis. I don't remember that one. Do you guys remember that one? As recently as last month, the Trump campaign went after Florida governor's wife, Casey DeSantis, accusing her of attempting to commit organized voter fraud after she invited out-of-state voters to participate in the Iowa caucus. Oh, I do remember this. Okay. And then we get, finally, pudding fingers. Following reports that DeSantis ate pudding with his finger back in March 2019, the pro-Trump super PAC MAGA, Inc. slammed the governor in a 30-second advertisement. Here, let's see if I'll play this for you guys.
Ron DeSantis loves sticking his fingers where they don't belong. And we're not just talking about pudding. DeSantis has his dirty fingers all over senior entitlements, like cutting Medicare, slashing Social Security, even raising our retirement age. Tell Ron DeSantis to keep his pudding fingers off our money. Oh, and somebody get this man a spoon.
Make America Great Again, Inc.
That's a good ad, man. Tying it to how he wants to cut entitlements. That's a good ad. And then we have this favorite DeSantis campaign moment, the failed Spaces launch. You remember that? You couldn't hear him for like 20 minutes. Him and Elon Musk, and it was so awkward. You couldn't hear him, and then when you finally could hear him, it sounded like the worst audio quality of all time. It was cutting in and out. They had to relaunch the Spaces to get it to work. Oh, it was such a disaster. It was the worst launch literally of all time. Then the Sonnenrad ad, remember that? Where he had like his like little minions made an ad for him, but it included like Nazi insignia behind his head. That was crazy. Not attacking Trump for months. Turns out that was a big mistake. Although even if he did attack him, I'm not sure it would have changed anything. Pudding fingers falling from 40 to 10% in the polls. Beefing with every black Republican for saying slavery benefited the slaves. Determinedly online and Nazi stuff. Then there was the famous video where he gets a dish put in front of him and he goes, hungry. I regret to inform all of you, though, that's actually fake. I know it broke my heart, too, when I heard it. And then we get this. The heels, when everybody realized he wears heels. The soy jacks. Casey, literally everything about her, but notably a man of integrity book. Hamas for DeSantis, I never saw that one. The beef with Disney, falling in Iowa despite the mass of local endorsements, and 1,000 other things. Okay. So yeah, failure to launch, man. It did not go very well, and now he immediately bent the knee, and let's see how much Trump ass-kissing he does to try to stay in good graces and remain his relevance in American politics. I will say, there's already a 2028 poll that came out, and in the 2028 poll, it's DeSantis number 1, Haley number 2, and then, like Vivek below that. And so basically people are like, with Trump out of the picture, it is DeSantis, Haley, etc. But look, I think you got to leave room there for Trump Jr. He's annoying as fuck. He's not charismatic, but he is loud. He is a cokehead, and he is just like his dad in many ways. And if Trump decides to pass the crown to his son, Watch. I think the Republican voters... I made the mistake before of overestimating Republican voters, thinking, oh, they'll care about electability and they'll probably go DeSantis. I made that mistake before. I am not going to make it again. I am never going to make that mistake again. So I think it's possible Trump Jr. is the future, as wild as that sounds. All right, guys, that's the show. I love you all very much. Everybody do me a big favor. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. It helps out massively in the algorithm. It doesn't cost you anything. And you know the drill. Much love to everybody who supports this show on Patreon. You guys make it work. That link is below. Please consider paying $5 a month or $2 a month or whatever. It helps out massively. I've never talked to an advertiser. You guys fund this from the ground up, and I deeply, deeply appreciate it. You could also tip on YouTube with the thanks button if you're so inclined. You could sign up for Crystal Kyle and Friends as well on Substack. That link's below. And that's all I got for you guys today, man. I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.